I'm riding the rainbow, hitting the highway to happiness. Oh yes, I'm looking to find someone who's meant to be mine.
I'm living to love,
I'm living to love,
and loving to live.
and loving to live.
I've got a heart,
I've got a heart,
I'm longing to give.
I'm longing to give.
Oh, I'm riding the rainbow. I'll follow my star
To where you are.
Welcome back to Talking Elvis and part 2 of Elvis Presley's cars. So the objective here is to try to document, get down on video, as many cars as we can which Elvis owned in his lifetime. And not necessarily all the cars that he bought, because there were so many which he bought and just gave away. And while I am no expert on American cars in general even, I want to give this a shot and see what we can do. As I mentioned in the previous video, if there's something that I miss out and you have a bit of a backstory about it, we can include it, we can chop up the videos. Perhaps this video could just be one long video in the end from start to finish on Elvis's cars. I think it'd be quite cool to document it, because as I said, I did have a look at some sites online, some YouTube channels, and I can see straight off the bat some cars that are missing. So we did the first part already. We covered Elvis's Lincoln Zephyr, which I believe he got around June 1952, his 1951 Lincoln Cosmopolitan, the 1954 Chevrolet Bel Air, which was Scotty's wife's car, but they used a lot, his 1955 Ford Crown Victoria, the 1954 pink and white Cadillac Fleetwood Special 60, the yellow 1954 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. We also covered the 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood Limousine, the 1955 Cadillac Fleetwood 60, and the 1956 three-wheeled Messerschmitt KR200. We're right about March 1956 at the moment. I mentioned Elvis's problems with speeding tickets. It goes on. On the 3rd of April 1956, Elvis is stopped for speeding in the pink and white Cadillac, Gladys's car, while he is in Shreveport. On Tuesday, the 10th of April, Elvis leaves Lubbock, Texas in the 1954 Cadillac, and the next day, while he is in El Paso, the car is serviced at the Lone Star Motor Company. At this time, Elvis also replaces the rear left window. He changes the wiper blades and has a new radio aerial installed, which had been snapped off by fans. He also adds a clothes hanger to the back of the car. At this point, the car has 32,581 miles on the clock. From the 22nd of April 1956 until the 7th of May, Elvis is in Las Vegas and performing at the New Frontier Hotel. On Saturday, the 28th of April, Heartbreak Hotel goes to number 1. And on the 5th of March, Elvis Presley goes to number 1. After Elvis's performance on the 14th of May at La Crosse, Wisconsin, the editor of a local newspaper sends a complaint to the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, saying that Elvis's performance consisted of self-sexual gratification. On the 13th of June 1956, 2 days after returning to Memphis from Tucson, Arizona, Elvis goes to Texas and picks up a 1956 ivory-coloured Cadillac Eldorado Barat's convertible.
Hold me close, hold me tight, make me thrill with delight. Let me know where I stand from the start. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my heart.
It was Cadillac's top-of-the-line luxury car. Cadillac at its absolute peak in terms of prestige, design, and a real show of wealth. Only 2,150 of these convertibles were built. They were very expensive, $6,500 at the time, which is about 80,000 in today's money. More than the cost of a house in some parts of the US. It had a 365 cubic V8 engine, power of 305 horsepower, and automatic transmission. The car today is purple in colour. Elvis had it painted, and here is the car with a brilliant picture of Elvis driving into Graceland. Elvis kept this until December 1957. It was found in a junkyard years later. It is now fully restored and on display across the road from the mansion. License plate number 8J3003 is the car that he drove to Biloxi, Mississippi in July. By now he has 4 Cadillacs, the Messerschmitt and the Ford Victoria. On the 21st of July, Elvis goes to downtown Memphis in his yellow Cadillac, which we covered in the last video, and he returns home driving a brand new 1956 Lincoln Premier.
I'll be as strong as a mountain, or weak as a willow tree.
I've found there's nothing like a Lincoln. Notice the low hood and the high fender line. They mean extra visibility and extra safety. And thanks to Lincoln's fully automatic transmission, power steering, and power brakes, it drives like a dream. But I want you to discover that for yourself. So here's your invitation from Fred Jones Lincoln Mercury to enjoy your Lincoln Reserve ride. Try it, and you'll love the Lincoln as much as I do.
He had traded in the Cadillac. It wasn't unusual for Elvis to trade in cars, and it is also not unusual for Elvis to hire cars, rent cars when in different towns, using Hertz as the company. So that can make it even more difficult trying to put these videos together, because not all the cars are owned by him. The Lincoln Premier was slightly more restrained than the Cadillac. Lincoln's style leaned more towards elegance and conservative luxury. On the 29th of July 1956, police officer Charlie Ward arrests Elvis for speeding. This was after what Ward said was a 6-mile chase. Elvis is taken to the local jail. However, he was soon released, apparently due to the hour of the day, late at night, and the Ministry of Justice was asleep, and the police officer felt it wasn't important enough to wake him up. On August the 3rd, Elvis is performing in Miami. During his 2-day stay there, after fans had covered every inch of the Lincoln Premier with lipstick and endearing notes, sometimes actually scratching with pen, Elvis goes to a local Lincoln dealer and trades in the car for a brand new white Lincoln Continental Mark II. This was positioned as a hand-built rival to Rolls-Royce at the time, and in fact even more expensive than a Cadillac Eldorado. With a 368 cubic inch V8 engine, this car became a famous part of Elvis's collection. We have his parents in the car here at Graceland, and we can see it now on display across the road from the mansion as well. On a side note, the money was rolling in. Elvis had sold close to 10 million records, and RCA were being forced to use pressing plants from both Decca and MGM. Elvis's records counted for over 2/3 of everything released by RCA Victor. The Lincoln Continental Mark II is the car that Elvis was driving when he pulled into the Gulf service station and got into the famous fight with Ed Hooper, and where he would have to appear in court. From mid-August until mid-September, Elvis is in Hollywood making his first movie, Love Me Tender. Incidentally, the single Love Me Tender goes gold for Elvis on the 25th of September, even though it has not even been released yet as a single. In the first week of December 1956, Elvis buys a white 1957 Cadillac Eldorado. He flew to Texas under the name of Clint Reno to pick up the car. We see him with it here on the 11th of December when he ran out of gas on Madison Avenue outside the State Savings Bank. While a policeman did eventually turn up with some fuel, it did take Elvis some time to get out of the situation. 1957 starts as 1956 ends, with Elvis filming his second movie, Loving You. He then goes straight into filming Jailhouse Rock. He manages a tour, including his tour of Canada, and he also buys Graceland. In June 1958, when Elvis is home during his basic training in the army, he buys a 1958 Lincoln Continental Mark III convertible.
My wish came true.
My wish came true
When I met you.
when I met you.
I've searched and searched my whole life through.
My whole life through.
With a length of 5.8 metres and weighing 5,500 pounds, this is not only a big car, but it's one of the largest production cars ever built. Designed for effortless driving, not driver engagement. A 430 cubic inch V8 and 375 horsepower. The absolute peak of 1950s excess. Elvis would be sent to Germany, of course, and shortly after arriving in October 1958, Elvis leases a black Mercedes 300 Andauer for himself and Vernon to use. He gets a Volkswagen Beetle as well for Red West and Lamar Fike. We see the Mercedes here, and in fact this is the car in which Vernon had a pretty serious accident in. The car was a write-off. It happened in March 1959, and I understand the car actually flipped over. Straight afterwards, Elvis buys a 1959 Mercedes-Benz 220S. Also at this time, Elvis purchased a 1953 Cadillac Fleetwood Series 60 Special. It was from an army colonel who was about to retire and go back to the US. Although this one is black, Elvis's car was tan in colour. On the 21st of December 1958, Elvis leases a BMW 507. Although he apparently thought he had bought it, not understanding the contract which was in German, he leased the car. Amazingly, if you'd like to buy that car or that type of car these days, it's highly collectible and can cost anything from $2 to $4 million. As we see here, the car is white. However, in the summer of 1959, Elvis paints it fire engine red. He puts on white wall tyres, and by all accounts he sold this in late 1959, where it was shipped to the US. In 2014, the car's current owner gave it to BMW. It was sent to Munich, Germany, and has now received a full restoration. I believe it's still in Germany today and does often go on tour and is seen at car shows. In the summer of 1959, while in Germany, Elvis orders a 1960 Lincoln Continental Mark V.
Lincoln Mercury Star Time, TV's finest hour, presented by the magnificent new Lincoln Continental, America's finest motor car. The brilliant new Lincoln for 1960, the finest Lincoln in 40 years. And the all-new 1960 Mercury with road-tuned wheels.
The Lincoln division of the Ford Motor Company customized the car for Elvis. I believe it was this same type of car that JFK would be assassinated in. After keeping this car for 5 years, Elvis would give it to Alan Fortas. On the 29th of February 1960, just prior to his army discharge, Billboard announces that Elvis Presley has sold 18 million singles, more than any other artist in music history. We're into 1960, and on Saturday the 3rd of September 1960, Elvis buys a Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 2.
I gave my heart, I gave my love, oh my darling, I am true, doing the best I can.
Thick carpets, polished wood, soft leather, not a fast car by modern standards, but by all accounts, incredibly smooth and effortless. It could go from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. He would use this car to attend the premiere of GI Blues. The Rolls-Royce is at Graceland today, and I've always loved this photograph outside of the mansion. I remember talking about this with Marty Lacker, this particular car, and Marty said, oh, it was a piece of shit. He said that they had to wait like 2 years just to get things like a window winder. It wasn't an automatic window, actually. It was a windy window. They said anytime we needed a part, it would take forever to get it. So that's part 2 of Elvis Presley's cars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.